Hello and welcome. You're watching the news at 8. I'm Sarah Jacob. Let's get you up to date with the day's top stories. A shot in the arm for the rebel Shinde camp. The Supreme Court extends the deadline given to the rebel Sena MLAs to file their responses to the disqualification notices till the 12th of July. As the Shinde camp swells, reaches near the 50 MLA mark, Uddhav Thackeray strikes back, strips the portfolios of 9 ministers in the MLA camp. Will there be a floor test? All eyes on the governor now. Sanjay Raut, Uddhav Thackeray's aide, gets an enforcement directorate summons. Arrest me, he retorts. I will not be intimidated to join the MLAs in Guwahati. Hours after the SC's relief to the rebel Sena MLAs, the BJP holds a core committee meeting, a strategy on the Maharashtra government formation on the agenda. Shiv Sena files his nomination papers as the opposition's presidential candidate against Draupadi Murmu, the NDA's presidential candidate. Opposition leaders turn up in a show of strength and unity. As the second largest city of Assam remains inundated, family members of flood victims are unable to even cremate or bury their family members. Most crematoriums in Silchar filled with flood water. A special report. The Nifty ends above the 15,800 mark. The Sensex gains 433 points, led by IT, oil and gas and metals. The markets ends higher for the third day. Positive global cues. IT and metal stocks lift the sentiment. A Maha Game of Thrones is underway in Maharashtra. In a day of fast-moving developments, major relief for the rebel Sena MLAs. The Supreme Court has given them 14 days to file their reply to the Deputy Speaker's notice. While the court halted the disqualification proceedings, the Uddhav Thackeray faction contended that there should be no trust vote till this disqualification issue is decided. But the court only responded that they could approach the court if anything illegal takes place. Also, the Supreme Court asked the Maharashtra government to ensure protection for the rebel MLAs, including supporters of rebel MLAs, as Eknath Shinde claimed a serious threat to the lives of these MLAs of his faction. The Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray, meanwhile, striking hard, stripped the portfolios of 9 rebel ministers, claiming that public work should not be stalled at this time. Among those 9 are 5 cabinet ministers and 4 ministers of state. The responsibilities of these rebel ministers, who have been ensconced at a 5-star hotel in Guwahati for the past week, has now been redistributed among the few ministers left in the Thackeray camp. The Shiv Sena Sanjay Raut, meanwhile, possibly the most vociferous backer of the Maharashtra Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray amidst this revolt in the party, has been summoned by the Enforcement Directorate in Mumbai for questioning tomorrow in a case of alleged money laundering. A defiant Sanjay Raut has refused to present himself, daring the ED to arrest him. He says he will not be intimidated to join the rebel MLA camp.
A big relief for Eknath Shinde and his 38 rebel MLAs, as India's top court today gave them 14 more days to respond to the Deputy Speaker's disqualification notice. The Deputy Speaker had given them 48 hours till 5:30 p.m. today. Eknath Shinde called it a victory and tweeted, "This is the victory of the Hindutva Emperor Balasaheb Thakaray's Hindutva and the thoughts of Dharmaveer Anand Dige Sahib." Uddhav Thackeray's request against any move for a floor test was not accepted, with the court saying there was no foundation of the issue yet, and if any illegality takes place, then every citizen can approach the court.
Our reply to the notice of the Deputy Speaker for our disqualification is extended till the 12th of July.
But can there be a floor test?
I can't comment on it because that's not the subject matter of this petition.
In fact, the Supreme Court also questioned the Deputy Speaker's rejection of the rebels' petition to remove him pointing out that this case is different from earlier defection cases that came to court because here the authority of the Deputy Speaker itself is under question. The court has issued notices to key officials in the Thackeray camp, the new Chief Whip and the new leader of the Legislative Party, both of whom have replaced rebels and allowed time for counter affidavits and rejoinders. A notice has also been issued to the centre as it has been made a party to the case by the rebel MLAs because of the security arrangements they are seeking.
When the top court asked the Shinde camp why they had not approached the Bombay High Court first, their lawyer N.K. Kaul said that the atmosphere in Mumbai was not conducive to pursue their rights as homes as well as properties of the MLAs are being burnt.
As arguments in the court continued, the Shinde camp said the Deputy Speaker's actions are unconstitutional and he had no right to issue a disqualification notice. The MLAs were asked to respond in 2 days. The rules required a minimum of a 14-day deadline. There are violations of principles of natural justice. The Deputy Speaker said a no-trust motion sent by MLAs was not a valid document. The letter was sent from an unregistered email ID. Its veracity was not authenticated. The Shiv Sena argued that the Deputy Speaker has the right to take decisions first. There was no need for a judicial review, and the moment the MLAs knew that they were likely to face disqualification proceedings, they sent an invalid letter to the Deputy Speaker.
For now, the MLAs are free from the fear of disqualification, and any further developments in court will take place only on 11th July. But in this twisted tale of Maharashtra's political crisis, new moves by the stakeholders cannot be ruled out. In New Delhi with Arvind Gunasekar and camera person Pawan Kumar, this is Sukirti Dwivedi for NDTV.
So while the court has halted the disqualification proceedings, the million-dollar question is, will there be a floor test before the disqualification, before the 11th of July? Well, the rebel Shiv Sena MLA Deepak Kesarkar, speaking to NDTV from that 5-star Radisson Blu Hotel in Guwahati, says that the faction led by the disgruntled party leader Eknath Shinde has the majority and they can easily pass a floor test in the Maharashtra Legislative Assembly. We asked him when these rebel MLAs will return to Maharashtra. His response, saying when, would give away their strategy.
So the strategy is to be decided. I am not the person who decides the strategy, and strategy is not announced publicly. It takes place, and shortly whatever decision we take, you will come to know. The Maharashtra is with the minority government, and soon the stable government will have to replace it. And that is a process, so nobody should feel bad about it.
But you're ready to support.
Government money is not spent on our state. We are making payments for our own state.
Well, talking about strategy, hours after the Supreme Court granted 2 weeks' time to the rebel MLAs, the BJP held a meeting of its core committee. We can play those shots now. And the question now is, of course, is a floor test inevitable? Will the rebel MLAs call for one? And if so, will it put the Shiv Senas, the Thackeray camp on shaky ground as they do not appear to have the numbers? Let's go across to Ratnadeep Chaudhary and Saurav Gupta, both who are monitoring this fast-moving development. Saurav, to you first. We see the BJP holding a meeting of its core committee members. We would love to be a fly on that wall to know exactly what they're discussing, but have the feelers been going out today since this Supreme Court hearing between the BJP and the Sena? Which Sena? Which part of the Sena?
Well, I mean, obviously the rebel Sena group is in touch with the BJP. There's no doubt about that. We've reported that secret meeting that took place between the top BJP leadership and Eknath Shinde, and things seem to be moving pretty fast now. Obviously, we're seeing at Uddhav Thackeray's residence also meetings happening one after the other. We saw Jayant Patil come in. We saw the Home Minister of Maharashtra, Dilip Valse Patil, come in. And we're now probably seeing Congress chief also is expected, Nana Patole. So I'll just ask my camera person to stay on these pictures as we bring you live reports. But of course, yes, the BJP seems to be now moving towards a space where they can actually claim. So this is, of course, Nana Patole, the state Congress president. Sir, sir, just a quick comment, sir. Sir, just a quick comment. You're here to meet the Chief Minister. Is there any word on what's happening?
नहीं, हम लोग महाविकास आघाड़ी के हम लोग सब साथी हैं, अब सब लोग बैठकर इस बारे में डिस्कशन करेंगे.
So that's of course the state Congress chief Nana Patole, Maharashtra Congress chief, who's arrived at the Chief Minister's residence here. And as you see, things are moving fast here with several top politicians of the Maharashtra Vikas Aghadi arriving here, and also meeting the Chief Minister. Ashok Chavan is also here from the Congress, but again, no comments is what we are hearing. Sir, can I get a quick word, because he's on the phone. So obviously, this is at this point a lot of hectic activity even at Matoshri, the residence of the Chief Minister of Maharashtra, Uddhav Thackeray. And yes, there seems to be also some sort of move by the BJP now to try and stake claim. We're also hearing that there may be some movement on that tomorrow. But yes, a lot of hectic activity at Matoshri, the residence of Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray.
All right, so sort of hold that thought. Let's just go across to Ratnadeep, who is outside that five-star hotel where these MLAs, 9 of whom were ministers in this Maharashtra government, have been enjoying a 7-day all-expense-paid stay in this 5-star Radisson Blu Hotel, police protection, luxury buses, chartered planes, all at their doors. Ratnadeep, what are you hearing? Any movement on that front? When are they expected to move back?
That's right. That's a big question which has been lingering around ever since they have, come here, and then particularly after today's proceedings at the Supreme Court. Now, remember this camp of Eknath Shinde, where they have 48 MLAs now. They already have bookings till the 30th of June. So they have some days in their hand, although they have not indicated officially when they will move out from this hotel or where they would go, what would be their next destination. But what we have picked up from very reliable sources as well as political sources with whom we have been talking in these days, they have indicated that there won't be any physical movement of these MLAs who are staying here, the Shinde camp, until and unless their physical presence is extremely required anywhere outside Guwahati, and that would be perhaps up on the day of the floor test or a day ahead of the floor test. That's what we are picking up from our sources, although they have not asked for the extension of their booking as of now. So the hotel is actually taking bookings from 1st of July. However, sources are telling us that when they were brought here, there was a long-term plan put in place to keep them here if required for a longer period, and therefore people in know of things are indicating that they would not move out, or rather they would move out only in case of a floor test. That's what we are picking up from our sources. However, in fact, today throughout the day they have been glued to the proceedings of the Supreme Court, and also they have been their own meetings, round of meetings with a legal team. In fact, there have been nerve center created, office space created from where they are able to do their video conferencing. The massive arrangements being made for them, and in fact what we are picking up is that the Eknath Shinde camp is also ready to show its strength in Guwahati. When we say show of strength, already they have put up a billboard in their favor near the hotel itself this evening, and what we are picking up from our sources is that they have been relishing sweets, particularly sivais made by the chefs, and also what we are hearing is that special indigenous Assamese crackers, sparkle crackers, have been ordered and kept ready for the Eknath Shinde camp.
Meanwhile, sort of quickly to you then, after this court verdict, Mr. Shinde had tweeted and he invoked the name of Balasaheb Thackeray. As this Eknath Shinde camp stakes claim to the Shiv Sena, can there be a Shiv Sena? Is that an ambitious, audacious claim? Or can there be a Shiv Sena without the son and the grandson of Balasaheb Thackeray?
Sarah, that's a very important question, and I'll need a little bit of time to explain that. Now, the point is that would the BJP, which wants to form government in Maharashtra at any cost by toppling the MVA government, want to create another powerful center by, allowing someone to appropriate Balasaheb's legacy? I doubt it. But obviously at this point, the legacy of Balasaheb Thackeray remains with Uddhav Thackeray and Aditya Thackeray, who have very clearly said that there's no chance of the Shiv Sena aligning with the BJP. So where does that leave Mr. Eknath Shinde? He can either, along with his group of MLAs, resign, thereby bring the numbers down, and that means the BJP automatically has the numbers, which means they would lose their MLA seats, or form a support, because they have 2/3 of the MLAs, avoid anti-defection law and go and support the BJP as a separate entity. These are several options, and the legalese of this will be decided. The legality of each option is being weighed. We are being told secret parlances, secret meetings are taking place. There could be a chance that Eknath Shinde himself could secretly travel to Mumbai, is what we are also given to understand, though there's no confirmation of it. But at this point, hectic meetings on both sides, even here at Matoshri of the MVA and at the BJP at Devendra Fadnavis's residence Sagar Bungalow, where the BJP core committee met. And yes, there is of course an opportunity for Eknath Shinde to claim Balasaheb's legacy, but the Thackerays are the ones who Balasaheb himself has left that legacy with. So it will be a very, very difficult battle and uphill task for Eknath Shinde to claim Balasaheb's legacy, remain a separate entity and offer support to the BJP. That would be a very difficult option for him to implement.
All right. Thank you so much, Ratnadeep. Thanks, Saurav. Meanwhile, police protection, luxury buses, chartered planes, 5-star treatment, all being at the doors of these rebel MLAs. This in a state that has been battling severe floods for the past week. While the floods have started abating, over 22 lakh people in 28 districts are still reeling from the aftermath of the flood fury. Homeless and stuck in about 564 relief camps being run in the state. There have been at least 126 deaths in Assam due to the floods. And in Silchar, one of the worst hit areas, there's no place even to bury or cremate these flood victims.
Dead bodies continue to surface in Assam's Silchar as floodwater now slowly recedes. As the second largest city of Assam remain inundated, family members of flood victims are unable to even cremate or bury their family members. Most crematoriums in Silchar are filled with flood water. 32-year-old Rakesh Ravidas died after drowning on first day of flood. His 23-year-old wife and 70-year-old mother say they couldn't even cremate him properly as floodwater washed away the burning pyre with his body.
बहुत जितना पानी था इतना कमर भर जा रहे थे पूरा पानी था।
तो उस बात का भी एक दुख होगा आपको कि ढंग से वो भी
आदमी भी सब नहीं जा पाए, 4-5 आदमी सिर्फ 4-5 आदमी जलाया कल और कोई नहीं था। आगे आदमी इतना था पानी में गिरने लगा, डूबने लगा, चला गया गुर गुर के, क्या करेगा। बहुत आदमी आया था, सब चला गया।
तो डेथ कैसे फ्लड की वजह से हुआ?
हाँ, फ्लड की वजह से पानी में मतलब घर का पास ही गिर गए थे। मेडिकल जाने के बाद तो हम कुछ नहीं कर पाए। ऐसे में एक रात था, बाद सुबह 19 तारीख को डेथ हो गया उनका।
Over 100 people have died in Assam floods till now and many remain missing. Chief Minister reached Silchar after severe criticism of misplaced priorities amid the ongoing resort politics in Guwahati.
Right from NDRF, Indian Army, civil administration, everyone is working to give maximum relief to the people. Our priority is to restore the electricity as early as possible. I think those people who are in Assam, they knows what is my priority. Day and night I am in field. So people are extremely happy with the government. At least we are trying to help. And whoever, whoever is monitoring me, they will know that 24 hours I am on field.
While the Chief Minister claims the people are happy with the relief work, the government centers to shelter flood victims tell a different tale. 28-year-old Sonu Valmiki is worried about her 11-month-old son. Both of her children are suffering from fever, sign of waterborne diseases spreading fast. However, no medical help has reached.
कितना छोटा है बच्चा?
11 महीने का।
11 महीने का है, बुखार हो रहा है बता रहे हैं। तो कोई दवाइयाँ वगैरह देने आए हैं?
नहीं, कोई नहीं है, हमने खरीद के खिलाया। खरीद के खिलाया।
तो और कोई डॉक्टर वगैरह है यहाँ पर चेकअप?
जी नहीं, कोई नहीं आता सर। कोई भी नहीं आता यहाँ पे।
आपको अगर कुछ चीजें चाहिए, सबसे ज्यादा जरूरत किस चीजों की है इस वक्त? पानी के अलावा?
जी।
पानी तो है, उसके अलावा
पानी तो है सर, बच्चे को दूध नहीं मिल रहा है, कुछ भी नहीं मिल रहा है। कोई बच्चा भी तो सब ऐसे ही है सर, जो बड़े खाते वही बच्चे खाते हैं, एक्स्ट्रा कुछ भी तो बच्चे के लिए कुछ नहीं मिल रहा है।
दादा नहीं, आगे भी फैमिली है क्या? उनका भी तो देखना है ना। Still remains stranded across Assam because of the floods. The only hope for people is that there should not be any more rains in the upcoming few days, and that is something what even the rescue agencies are hoping for, so that the water recedes and people are saved, especially in those areas where they are unable to reach at this time. With camera person Silchar, I'm Akshay Dongre for NDTV.
All right, we have Arvind Gunasekar now joining us with some breaking news coming in that the Alt News co-founder has been arrested by the Delhi police. Arvind, Alt News is an Indian non-profit fact-checking website. Why, on what charges has the co-founder been arrested?
Sarah, the Delhi police sources have confirmed to us that they have arrested Mohammed Zubair, the co-founder of Alt News, for allegedly hurting religious sentiment and also promoting enmity between two communities. So what we are being told by his sources, that is Mohammed Zubair's people close to him. In fact, he was summoned by the Delhi police for questioning in a different case, and during the questioning of that particular case, in fact, they revealed that this particular second FIR, and then in the second FIR he has been arrested. So people close to Zubair say that in the first FIR he has already got protection from the Delhi High Court, but when he went to the when he joined the investigation for questioning, that's when the Delhi police came up with the second FIR and he has been arrested in the second FIR. So this is according to the people close to Zubair. So our sources in Delhi police say he has made some objectionable post tweets on Twitter, and taking cognizance of the same, several people have allegedly complained against him, and taking cognizance of the same, the Delhi police has registered a fresh FIR against Mohammed Zubair for allegedly hurting religious sentiment and also promoting enmity. That's why the Delhi police has arrested him, and what we are being told is that as we speak he is currently being grilled, and tomorrow he will be produced before the competent court where the Delhi police is seeking further custody on him. So also very importantly, Zubair has been raking several communal or bigotry posts on Twitter. In fact, recently also he was in news for raising the issue of BJP spokesperson making allegedly controversial remarks on a television channel, and after that now his people close to him are saying that he is being targeted only because he raised that particular issue.
All right, this is the breaking news story. We will get you more information and a report on this further. But for now, Arvind bringing us that breaking news story. Thank you for that update. Let's quickly wrap up by bringing you up to date with how the markets are doing. A look at the markets. The Nifty ended above the 15,800 points. The Sensex gained 433 points, led by IT, oil and gas and metals. So markets basically ending higher for the third day because of positive global cues. IT and metal stocks which were lifting the sentiment there. However, the jury is still out on whether this is a bear market or a corrective phase in a long-term bull market. But those were the key factors driving the Sensex and the Nifty higher today.